Cooking for Health brings you nutritional information and tips, as well as cooking demonstrations and healthy recipes by local chefs. Cooking for Health is brought to you by First Choice Community Healthcare, Agricultura Network, and La Cosecha. Special thanks to Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Mexico for funding this project. Thank you for joining us, and check out the rest of our videos to see healthy recipes to share with family and friends.
Hi, I'm Jesse Barnes, one of the family medicine doctors here at First Choice in the South Valley, and welcome to this month's Cooking for Health classes. Our theme this month is plant-based proteins, and our amazing chefs are going to show you some excellent ways to introduce more plant-based proteins into your diet. But first, let's talk a little bit more about what this means and why it's important to our health. So we all know that proteins are a really important part of our diet. It's one of the main categories of food, and it's essential to having energy and building healthy muscle and body parts, and in living a healthy day-to-day life. There are a variety of different foods that contain proteins, and while many people first think of meats and other animal-based protein sources, one of the most important and healthy sources of protein in our diet can actually come from plants, and that's what we want to talk a little bit more about today. Now, we need about 50 to 70 grams of protein a day. It depends a little bit on your weight. People who weigh more will need a little bit more protein. But when we're thinking about what proteins we want to eat, we can't just look at the amount of protein itself. What we call the protein package is extremely important. And that's because we don't just get pure protein. Even protein shakes aren't just made up of pure protein. They'll have some amount of sugar, some amount of fat, some amount of sodium or salt as well. And it's those pieces of the protein package that end up having a huge impact on how healthy the protein is for us overall. When we eat plant-based proteins, there are a number of pretty significant health benefits to doing so. It lowers the rate of heart disease, diabetes, and high blood pressure, and therefore lowers the chances of things like strokes and heart attacks as we get older. It can help significantly in controlling our weight and in building healthy bones and avoiding conditions like osteoporosis and unnecessary broken bones. So when we look at our plate of food and the power plate, as we've discussed in previous videos, we want to make sure that we're trying to get as many plant-based proteins in there as possible. These include things like what we call legumes, and these are lentils, peas, all types of beans, soybeans and soybean products like tofu, nuts, be they cashews, peanuts, almonds, and seeds, chia seeds, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, as well as a variety of whole grains. So anything involving wheat, quinoa, oats, and oatmeal will also be good sources of protein in our diet. To give you a couple examples of what we mean by a healthy protein package, we want to look a little bit at some examples of how different types of protein in our diet will affect our overall health. So when we talk about, say, a steak, that obviously, I think people know, has a fair amount of protein in it. An average 4-ounce sirloin steak would have about 33 grams of protein. However, it also has almost 5 grams of saturated fat, which is what contributes to clogged arteries and heart disease, as well as a significant amount of sodium. If we look at, for example, a ham steak, we again have a significant source of protein with 22 grams, but now we're only getting 1.6 grams of saturated fat. However, we're now getting almost 1,500 grams of sodium, or salt, which is linked to high blood pressure and heart attacks and strokes. On the other hand, if we look at a cup of lentils, for example, 1 cup of lentils has 18 grams of protein, so still an excellent source of protein, but almost no saturated fat and almost no sodium. So this is what we mean when we talk about a protein package, and this is why we think switching as often as we can to plant-based proteins on our plate is a really important way to build a healthy protein package that gives us the protein we need without all these other additives that are harmful to our health. So we hope you enjoy the videos this month where our chefs will look at excellent and delicious ways to get more plant-based proteins into our diet. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can find out about future Cooking for Health videos, and we hope you have a wonderful day.